Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Marlon Bowling with you as we watch your ag commodity trade. And we're going to take a look at what's going on here in the grains in just a moment. I wanted to pass along the fact that we had a sale overnight of some corn. And it was a sale of 210,000 tons of what they call optional origin corn. It was sold to South Korea for the current marketing year. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we will get the business. It says the contract provides that the origin may be the U.S. or one or more other exporting countries. So, yes, it was good news of the sale. However, we may not actually get it, or we may only get part of it. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's find out more about the market activity today by going to the trading floor in Chicago, where we have Todd Bubba Horwitz standing by. And there he is right now, ready to talk about the markets. What's up today there, Todd?
Good morning, Marlon. Well, markets are a little higher. Surprising me a little bit, but we are stronger. You see corn's up about 3 cents, and soybeans are up about 6 or 7 cents, and wheat's up about 5 cents. We've got a fairly strong market. I think that you should look for some selling in here, but right now they're continuing to go higher, and you can't really fight it. I do like, I'm bullish very long term here, so I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that they're going up right now. I think there should be probably a little bit of selling coming in here.
All right, now you say there should be selling, but we have sold off for like 3 days or 2.5 days, something like that, since the government report came out last Thursday. And I'm sure a lot of viewers and listeners are saying, well, they already did that, didn't they?
Well, corn didn't sell off at all. Corn's higher today than it was when the report came out. So I wouldn't say that. What I would say is that they did very little selling, and I would say that when a market rallies 10 to 12%, and they all three have done that, that there should be some sort of a pullback, and that would be what I'd be looking for. Now, again, longer term, I'm looking for new highs, new recent highs. So I'm not concerned longer term, but short term, as a trader, I think that there needs to be a little bit of selling pressure, and if we don't get that selling pressure pretty soon, then it may change my views. That may mean that the tops are be putting in right now versus if we get a pullback, I think we get a much bigger rally going into the summer.
So we're showing May corn up about 3 cents in value right now. The soybean trade, we can take a look at what the May prices are doing here on the soybeans. We have May now 7 higher at 10.48 1/4. And September is about 5 3/4 higher too. The prospective planning report is coming out March 29th. That's a couple of weeks out yet. And I just wanted to get your take on what to expect in the market before that. Do you think things are going to flatten out, or what do you think is going to happen with the gyrations in the grain trade ahead of that?
Well, I think, Marlon, if we get the little selling I'm looking for, I think we'll rally through that number. I think that will be the continuation because, again, I believe right now all signs point to a lot higher grain prices. But if we don't get that little bit of a sell-off and we continue to rally into that report, I think that might signal the top of the market. That's the interesting thing about watching the money flow and watching how it's trading here. So that's what I would look for. I'd love to see that little pullback and then rally into it and through that report. But if we keep going up, I think that report will be the end of the rally that we have.
Oh, okay. Now let's take a look at the wheat trade right now. In Chicago wheat on the May contract, on the big board there in Chicago, we are currently 6 higher at 496 3/4. It looks like July is up about 5.5. If you look at Kansas City wheat, that had a big move this morning. Kansas City May is now 9.5 higher at 531 1/4. July up 9.5, so big moves there. Lots of attention once again returning to the dry conditions out there in the southern high plains. On the Minneapolis wheat trade right now, looks like that May contract is up about 4 3/4 at 629.5. And on the cotton market, cotton has had some big moves here since the USDA reports. Right now, the May contract is 2 points higher, and July up about 15 at 83.36. That's the latest on the crop market side. We'll come back in a moment and discover what's going on with our cattle and hog trade when we talk with Todd Bubba Horwitz right after this. Well, we're talking with Todd Bubba Horwitz, BubbaTrading.com in Chicago right now, and we talked about the crop markets a little bit ago. I wanted to ask you quickly about what's going on with the dollar in the outside markets, and then we'll talk a little livestock here. There's some gyrations going out there in the outside markets today. Do they mean anything to the ag trade, in your opinion?
No, sir. I think that the dollar is a little bit weaker today, but I think it will be stronger. But I think that we've discounted the dollar and the way the prices are changing. I don't think the dollar means anything unless it gets back to about 95.
Oh, okay. So right now we're at 89.780 on the March futures. That's on the index, down about 90 points right now. Let's take a look at the live cattle trade here. On the live cattle board in Chicago, at least when we look at the futures, we have the April now a nickel higher at 121.60. However, June is down 20 cents at 113.08, and we have August down about 32 at 110.50. This market seems to have kind of a hard time finding its way here lately, Todd. I remember a couple of days ago, we were fairly sharply higher. At the end of the day, we were up like $1.30, and then we were down like $1.50 yesterday. Now we're just kind of caught in the middle, drifting lower. What's up with this?
We're going higher. You know, we're having a little bit of action, that, you know, a little bit of trading action. You've got buyers and sellers. They're a little bit confused in here. You've got a little bit of a consolidation pattern forming down here at the lows. I think, look, 121 in April cattle is a great spot, I think, to step right in and buy them. I mean, I'm buying them, and I think that we're looking really good. This is the kind of action we'd like to see. I know it doesn't feel good when you're an owner and you're trying to sell them yourself, but when you're trading them, this is great action. I think that we're just testing the lows again to go higher, and I do believe there's a chance we'll take out the highs. Now, I don't know if we'll get there in April because we're starting to run short on time, but I do believe that it's going to be a very good summer, and we're going to see some much higher prices both in the fats and in the feeders. I think the feeders are just a little bit lower than I'd like to see them, but they still are above holding that one last support area that I'd like to see. So I'm very comfortable owning them, and we'll continue to do so.
Right now, April feeders down 63 at 141.95. We have May down 92 at 143.18. You say you're a trader here in a consolidation pattern here. Does that mean you're just trading ranges at this point?
Well, I'm looking for the big breakout to the upside personally. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy the bottoms and look for the rally that's going to take us through that top end resistance. And that top end resistance would be about 123 in the fats and about 144 in the feeder. So once we take those out, I think we go off to the races. And right now you get these runs up and down where they find new buyers when they get lower and they find new sellers when they get a little higher. Once we break out, which I do believe we're breaking to the upside, I'll be a much bigger buyer up there. But right now I'm trying to nibble down here so that we can try to get on board for the breakout.
What about lean hogs? As we look at lean hog futures in Chicago right now, let's go ahead and take a look at April, where we're 80 higher at 68.48, and we have May 87 higher now at 72.10. Signs of life in the lean hog trade today.
Well, I've been a buyer, and I started buying them at 70, Marlon. Of course, it's not a very good buy at the moment, and I bought more at 68, and I bought more at 67. So I'm still a buyer. I'm very comfortable in this space. I think we're going a lot higher. I don't think the downside has got much left in it. So I think we're going much higher. I think we'll go out and test the basis of 77, which was April's high. And I look to see higher prices. I'm not concerned. I think it's going to be a very good, solid year, and I think things are pointing to a lot better markets. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of a struggle, but I'm losing money, and I'm still in.
I would call it a muted bull. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on how that works out for you. Thanks for the update.
Put a ring on me?
Yeah. Todd Bubba Horwitz happens to be with BubbaTrading.com. He is located in Chicago, and always value the opinion that he has, and he shares what he's doing in the market. So interesting stuff.
He's transparent. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Markets editor Marlon Bowling.